Hi everyone. Now you're probably wondering, whoa Dave, what's with the bright shirt? Because when I do these videos I have to be bright ass. no, for real, it was at Lowe's and it was 25 bucks and it was 8 XL. Don't find me shirts at that price. So anyway, the text that we're looking at this morning, rather, I'm going to catch up with a couple of videos. It's an awesome text. In fact, if you pause the video right here, I encourage you to go to the Bible if you have one on the phone and just Google Psalms 31, Psalms, and put 31 and have a read and then come back.
A few moments later.
Okay, first up, just want to do a shout out to all the boys in Christchurch, Mau, LL Cool J, Shaq, Colin, and Jay. Hey, all the boys out there and anyone that I missed. You know, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. If you got any questions, hit me up. And if you got any texts you want me to look at and do a video on, because I know I promised you boys, let me know. Message me or just let me know what the go is. But hey, shout out to you boys. Psalms 31, verse 24. Be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. What an awesome text. Now the reason why I asked you to look at this was because if you look at the pattern of the way that David's praying, it's not actually just this text comes out of a negative experience. You know, David starts off and he's asking for protection because he's disgraced himself and disgraced God, and he calls on God to be his rock and his defense. Probably like, you know, how the people in World War I and II used trenches as defense. He's calling on God, be my rock, defend me from these people. Who? What people? David, what are you crazy, man? Are you just are you paranoid? You know, you gotta remember, David, he was a king, he was a warrior. He's got blood on his hands. He's a poet. This guy is a valiant man, and he's now at a point where he's calling on God to protect him because there are things that he's afraid of. And while he's saying he's scared and whatnot, he says he knows God is awesome and powerful. And you wonder why, bro? Why are you so scared? What are you you're freaking out about? And you come into verse 11, and he says this: I'm scorned by all my enemies and despised by my neighbors. Even my friends are afraid to come near me. What? Man, 13. It says this: I have heard the many rumors about me, and I am surrounded by terror. My enemies conspire against me, plotting to take my life. No wonder why David's scared. You know, he's a king, and this is not new. Every king knew that their position is going to be challenged at some point or another. But it's even possible that his own friends that are his officials are conspiring against him to take him out. What for? Well, we don't know. He doesn't tell us. Maybe the nations around him are starting to make an alliance, and they're about to come against him to take him out. So now, you know, it's logical that you'll be afraid. He's scared, and he's like, man, God, help me. I made some mistakes. I may have said some things, and, you know, now they've got beef, and they want to, now they've got some problems with me, some issues, and, you know, they want to take me out. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that you too have had this problem, that people talk about you and they slander you and they make up rumors, or they could be telling the truth about something that you really did and you're not happy about it. So you start crying and freaking out, and every day, you know, you want to post up statuses saying, I don't care what you say, you know, FTW, I'm the man and I'm the woman, and you make these statuses, but really deep inside you're angry, you're upset, and you need help, and you need to do what David did, man. Come to the Lord and pray. And so he does. And then after he says this prayer, after he writes this psalm, this poetry, awesome poetry in the original Hebrew language. Oh, beautiful. At the very end, verse 24, he says, so be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. Be strong and courageous at this time? You haven't even answered the prayer yet. Yes, David says be strong now. Now here's the thing. All right, let me give you an illustration. I want to illustrate this. Soccer and me, when we first met, Soccer told me that I might need to make a serious decision about our relationship because she can't have children, and she knew that I wanted to have children, so I had to make a decision. Well, obviously I chose her, and we went for it. You know, just we thought, you know what, I love this woman and she loves me, and no matter, you know, whatever God's plan is, so we got together, right? Got a second opinion. Doctor said yes, she can't have children, which really stinks, but we stuck with it anyway. 2 years later, she gets pregnant after our marriage. We're like, whoa, wow, woo, celebrations. And then throughout the marriage, doctors start doing these tests and whatnot and start telling us that, you know, your child's going to be a sickly child. You know, he's got problems with his kidneys and his heart. There's 1 out of 6 chances that he's going to be Down syndrome and whatever. And we're like, man, so we're freaking out now. We're anxious. We're stressing, okay? For ages, we're stressing. And I remember one night, one morning, it was probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And so I rolled out of bed and I put my hand on Sokka's tummy and put on baby, and I prayed and I asked God, help us in this situation. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know what to do about a sickly child. I wasn't expecting this. We thank you that we can have a child, but what do we do now? I woke up, when I came off my knees in that prayer, I went to lay down, and there was this peace that came on me. This peace that was like, everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Have a sleep. So I did. And I had no idea what that peace was. I had no idea. That was the first experience of calmness. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but after you're going through these paces, day in, day out, freaking out, day in, day out, and the peace comes over you, man, this is a euphoric experience. And so I slept right up to when I had to wake up for work again. And in the morning, I told Sokka, and Sokka says to me, you know what, it's good that you're going through that, but I'm still feeling anxious. And I understood. I don't want to force her to be where I'm at. I was like, oh, okay, cool. At least you know that I'm here now. I've got to a point where I'm at peace, and I'm going to support you all the way. We both don't have to go through this. And that morning when I was going to work, I had this impression that it doesn't matter, Dave. No matter what you're going to go through right now, God will equip you with everything you need to be the right father, to give him what he needs, to take him to the right schools, to see the right doctors, to see the right people. And man, all these positive thoughts just started coming one after the other. And that was cool. And a couple of weeks later, Sokka wakes me up in the middle of the night. And I wake up and she's shaking me and she's sitting there with her big tummy. She says, Dave. Yeah, I said, yes. And she's crying. She says, I feel at peace too. So for the rest of the pregnancy, we both now have peace before the delivery of the baby. I hope you hear what I'm saying. Before Uriah even arrives, we're already in confidence and peace that everything is going to be okay. No more anxiousness, no more stress, no more freaking out anymore, because we understand that God's going to take care of everything. Well, when Uriah was born, we were told that a team was going to be there to make sure everything was all right. He's born. I'm looking at baby. First experience is, wow, amazing. I'm amazed at my wife. I'm amazed that baby's all right. And then I get straight into clinical thinking. Where's this team? His digits look all right. They said there's going to be short. All these things that the doctor said. It wasn't in front of me. Nurse said, I got to grab him, got to do blood tests. So, got to spend some time with Sokka, took him to the blood test. And I follow him. I'm looking for this team. Team's not there. I finally hit up the nurse later on. What's going on? Where's this team? Is Uriah okay? And she said, look, I'm not a professional, but everything looks fine to me. And then she left us. And we didn't hear anything again. No apologies from the doctors. Nothing to say, hey, I'm sorry about the anxiety we put you through. None of that. It was all guesswork. It was all the technology. It was all the education and the degrees that they worked on. And we're dealing with the physician in heaven. So, like regardless of whether Uriah was going to be blind or deaf or whatever, or, losing limbs, we were at a point where we understood God will equip us for what we need. So David is saying the same thing, King David in Psalms 24. Be strong and courageous, to you who put hope in the Lord. How many of you need to put hope in the Lord? I bet heaps of you do. I bet heaps of you are still going through anxieties right now at this minute, panicking and anticipating things that haven't yet happened. And yet, you need to experience that peace now. Check this out. Verse 5. Verse 5 of this chapter. Into your hands I commend my spirit. Those very words were said by Jesus Christ while he was on the cross. At a point where his back was lacerated with open wounds and splinters going through it, where his bones were dislocated and his ribcage stretched to its limits, unable to breathe, every breath was losing and getting shorter and shorter as life was slipping away from him. And in one of his last few sentences, one of the last few things that he could push out was this word, into thy hands I commend my spirit. And you get an insight where Jesus is at. He told his disciple on the third day I will rise again. So when he says, into your hands I commend my spirit, he's telling us, I'm coming through on the other side. The pain that I'm going through right now, everything I'm experiencing, wow, then I'm going to come through the other side. And here we are. Here are people like myself and many others that believe on the third day he rose again. And he's got many other promises that he's coming again. So you look at Christians, you wonder, hey, why are these guys so calm through panic and stress and whatever? Because we understand that we have a Jesus that can handle pain and still go through it, having faith in God, knowing that he's going to deliver or may not deliver, but he will deliver us to peace. We know that we serve a God that will bring us into a place of peace. It says in Philippians 4 that he'll give us peace that surpasses all understanding. a peace that the world is craving for, a peace where people are suffering mental issues like nobody's business these days. And how much more do we need that peace right here, right now?